Palisade in his own end. Gets it up on the move is Gregg. Mark Gregg gathering speed. Centers it right in front. Great stop by Intward from point blank. Warenka moves it up. Dipping and diving. Rubicek tried to drop it off there. It's intercepted. Ryan Gorley. Out to center. Still with it. Gorley given a bump. Portland making some player changes. Gorley didn't really have anywhere to go. Kevin Jorgensen, number 21 for Portland, takes the bump. Still has the puck. Out at center. Loose on the wing. Sprinting over to get it is Rick Fry, number 14. Kevin St. Jacques moves it over. Ricocheting it off the glass. Gets past Fry. Now it's whacked along the boards. And back there to pick it up is Jorgensen. We have played 3 minutes of the first period, and there is no score between the Lethbridge Hurricanes and the Portland Winterhawks. And there's that elder statesman of coaching in the Western League I talked about earlier, Ken Hodge.
17 seasons, never been fired. Now, how many coaches in hockey can say after 17 seasons they haven't been fired? Ken Hodge was with the Edmonton Oil Kings for 3 years before the franchise shifted over to Portland. When it shifted over to Portland, he's been there for the last 14 seasons. Great save here by Dean Intwert. Some great play by Mark Gregg coming down the left wing. Some great stick handling. He fired it out in front to number 23. He had a good shot at it, Jason Ruff, but a great save by Intwert.
Puck fired in, and Emu reaching out, and he will pull that one in. A good stop by Intwert at one end, and Darcy Emu, I think Dusty Emu, tested down at the other end. Can't get over that first name, Dusty. It's got to be a nickname.
You know, Paul, we make a big deal of the Lethbridge Hurricanes scoring, but they've also got some outstanding goaltending. Dusty Emu we're seeing tonight. Jamie McLennan, the other player, they're inseparable, best friends. They're 1-2 in the league in goaltending, and they provided the second best defense in the league for the Lethbridge Hurricanes.
You don't have that sort of sibling rivalry on the Lethbridge team between the goaltenders that you normally get. And I was talking to Coach Bob Lux, and he's not sure whether that's healthy or not.
No, because he wonders when one of the guys has a bad game, the other guy feels so bad for him, he doesn't really want to do anything about it. He'd like to see one guy really capitalize on the other guy's mistakes and maybe be get a real first stringer going here. They've been really alternating most of the season.
They'll crash it along the boards. Hale trying to get it out, and another stoppage. We have our first penalty coming up, and it is going to be a roughing call by the looks of it against the Portland Winterhawks, so we will get a look at the vaunted Lethbridge power play. And we'll get a look at some off-base Lethbridge fans. So Lethbridge will tune up the power play. Portland will try to batten down the hatches. Ryan Slemko off at 3:19, and the Lethbridge power play will tune up the Pistons.
Get a little rambunctious in the corner here. Not quite sure where that actually happened. Number 29, Slemko, they called it a hooking penalty, but I think it was more a rough along the side of the boards.
No score. 16:41 to play in the first period. I'm Paul Romanoff with Bob McKenzie from the Sportsplex in Lethbridge. CHL Sunday night. Good to have you with us. Berthelsen back in his own end. Lots of time and lots of room. Lions charging in, number 7, trying to get to it back at center ice. An injured player is down. That is Rob Krause, number 6 of the Portland Winterhawks. And he may have taken a sticker to the puck clip him.
That was far behind the play, Paul, and I didn't actually see what happened. So Krause, a veteran defenseman, I believe he's in his fourth year WHL player, draft pick of the Washington Capitals. And he's brought in to solidify this defense. He came over from the Tri-City Americans, and this is something that the Portland Winterhawks have been looking for this year, is a little solidification on defense.
Well, he brings them solidification, and he brings them character as well. That's the veteran element that comes into play there. And he's trying to check Peter Berthelsen. Looks like actually he got a knee in the midsection and not a stick.
Just a tough collision. Berthelsen's a big guy for the Lethbridge Hurricanes, the team captain.
Oh, is he ever? And speaking of character players, he fulfills the same role that Krause fulfills with Portland for Lethbridge. Very much a leader in the dressing room, an older guy.
You know, one of the big problems with the Portland Winterhawks this year has been something they have no control over, injuries. And we're seeing one here. You've got to hope for the Portland Winterhawks' sake that Krause is not injured here.
35% efficiency rating on the power play. against the 9th best penalty killing unit in the WHL. Berthelsen shoots in towards the stop, rebound in front, crashing in there after it. Number 7, Corey Lyons trying to get it loose. And finally, Portland able to weather the storm. They clear at the length of the ice. Dusty Emu out to play it. We have played 4 minutes of period number 1. 1 minute and 15 seconds to go in the Lethbridge power play. 0-0. Here comes Brian Bosch. Bosch still with it. Lyons dipping back there, number 7. He's got it. Lyons looking. He'll feed the point. Exactly. Back over. Berthelsen shoots. That's tipped wide. Loose at the side. In toward trying to cover it up. Can't get to it. Look at Lethbridge control it. Sharp angle shot by Lyons, and that is held onto by Intward, and we get some crashing in front of the goal.
Just a great play, Paul, by Corey Lyons, number 7 of the Lethbridge Hurricanes. He's a 3rd-round pick of the Calgary Flames, and they really believe they've got a good one in him. As we've mentioned so much, this big offense, he's one of the fabulous 5 for tonight, but for most games, it's the Super 6. He's had 202 points in 118 WHL games, so that speaks for itself. A Dave Chizowski-like shot. Just a fantastic shot.
Yeah, they call it a big league shot. Unfortunately, you don't really get a look at it here because he just tried to squeeze out at the side.
Corey Lyons came around, wraparound, but great play by Intward. He held the post and no problem.
And they say, actually, the story with Corey Lyons, as hard as it is to believe, his coach would like to see him play with a little bit more intensity. He says he lacks motivation sometimes.
Well, he's been very consistent this year. He's at a 22-game point streak.
Teams back at even strength. Check that. Offsetting penalties. So still 40 seconds to go on the man advantage for Lethbridge. Mark Gregg back of the net, taking a look around. Still with it. Gregg centers it. There's a shot fired wide. Jason Ruff had her teed up, and I don't think the puck was quite sitting for him. Still 25 seconds to go on the man advantage for Lethbridge. 0-0. 5 minutes to play in the first period. The Lethbridge Hurricanes and the Portland Winterhawks. And here comes Gregg. Drops it off. Hauerluck shooting one. That's knocked down. Gregg across in front again. Nobody uncovered. Racing after it is Rubicek. Drops it around. Gregg shoots. That's knocked down. They try to crowd it up at the side of the goal. Still loose. And finally we get a stoppage. And the catalyst out there during that last stretch in the Lethbridge power play, number 17, Mark Gregg.
Yeah, he's an undrafted player. He's not drafted by a National Hockey League team. He had 108 points last season. And he's one of the best stick handlers in the Western Hockey League. He really sets up his line mates. He quite often looks for Jason Ruff. We saw it a little bit earlier, number 23, to tee it up.
And Gregg, would you say a first rounder?
No, I don't think so. But 6 foot, 192 pounds. Rated number 17 by the Central Scouting Bureau that's the NHL Central Scouting Bureau in Western Canada.
And far and away, I am told, the best stick handler in the Western Hockey League. Very deceptive and tough to check from in close. Teams back at even strength, 14.5 minutes to play. First period, no score. Puck flipped in there by number 7, Judson Innes for the Winterhawks. Swings wide around back of the net, goes to the front, but without the puck. Moved off the boards and out. Kraus flipping it back in. Emu will drop it off. Gives it away. Innes, back of the net, looking. Still got it, shoots. Emu is there with the answer. Judson Innes, great control. Elsewhere tonight in the Western Hockey League, Brandon defeating Saskatoon 6-2.
Big win for the Wheat Kings over those pesky Blades.
And Brandon finding themselves in the basement of the East Division of the Western Hockey League. That was only their 17th win of the year. So any win is a big win. Here's a break now. Kevin St. Jacques with some great speed. Couldn't quite outmuscle his man in back of the net now. St. Jacques again looks, centers it in front. And Marusha couldn't get a good shot away. They battle for it. Peralta's in there, and finally the puck kind of pushed into Dean Intward.
Another good save for Intward. Intwort didn't figure big in the Portland Winterhawks' plans at the beginning of this year. They have Byron Defoe on the bench, second-round pick of the Washington Capitals, and Defoe's an outstanding National Hockey League prospect. But Defoe went down with a knee injury early in the season. It pushed Intwort, the Edmonton native, into service a lot earlier than maybe they would have liked. But he's responded.
13:41 to play in the first period. 0-0. Little scrumming off the face-off. Crowding along the boards. St. Jacques, number 20, tried to kick it loose, but the Winterhawks come away. Puck fired in by Brent Fleetwood. Stopped up at the blue line. Lethbridge able to come back. Little elbow thrown up there in the direction of St. Jacques, number 20 at the line. He turns and dumps it in. Heading in there to forecheck number 18, Doug Baralt. Baralt couldn't get to it in time. St. Jacques tried to feed it into Baralt, who bumped his man as he went by. Rob Krause, who took that knee to the midsection earlier, looks to be okay. He's been out for a couple of shifts. And Krause will lumber back to pick this one up. Marushak into forecheck. Knocked out.